I request everybody to take their seats. So, uh, good evening, friends. It is my pleasure to welcome you all for this press conference as we announce the Bandhan Bank's quarterly results. We are delighted to have members of the media, our top management team, and of course the top leadership of the bank, who will take us to the key highlights and key insights for the performance of the bank. Most of you would have got the press release by now and you would have seen the headline numbers. However, the leadership team who's right here on the stage will provide an in-depth look on the financial results, some strategic initiatives, and also the market outlook. We are honored to have Mr. Parthapratim Sen Gupta, who's MD and CEO, who will be leading today's press conference. On his right is Mr. Rajinder Kumar Babbar, Executive Director and Chief Business Officer. To the left of Mr. Sen Gupta is Ratan Kumar Kesh, he's Executive Director and Chief Operating Officer. And on the extreme left is Mr. Rajiv Mantri, our Chief Financial Officer, who will also take you through some highlights of the results. So before we start the press conference, just a set of small announcement. We request everybody to keep their mobiles on silent and wait for your question and answer, because first we'll have the opening remarks from the gentleman and then we'll come back to the Q&A. Thank you, sir. Sir, before hand over to you, sir.
Good afternoon to you all. First of all, I welcome you on behalf of Bandhan Bank and thank all of you for coming to our office on the occasion of today's event, that is the quarter 3 results of Bandhan Bank Limited. As MD and CEO of Bandhan Bank, this is my first opportunity to meet you all. I know that I'm acquainted with many of you during my earlier tenure as CGM of Kolkata Circle in State Bank of India, and also while I have also had talks with many of you when I was heading MD and CEO of Indian Overseas Bank. Just to tell that I have suddenly developed a Bell's palsy on my face, so the words may get jumbled up. Kindly excuse me for that. First of all, I acknowledge the contributions rendered by our founder, Sri Chandrasekhar Ghosh, who was earlier the MD and CEO of the bank, and also to Ratan Kumar Kesh, who was the interim MD and CEO, from whom I have taken over the charge, and he was aptly supported by both of them, were aptly supported by Rajinder Kumar Babbar, another ED, and Sri Rajiv Mantri, our CFO, and all other officials of the bank. So I think it's my privilege to lead a bank from this state, the only bank which has got a universal license from Reserve Bank of India after independence. So I think it is a great opportunity for me also to lead this bank. So currently we are driving the execution of Bandhan, I can say, on the next phase of the Bandhan strategy. I will just take you briefly through our numbers and a brief on the strategy for the future. My CFO, Sri Rajiv Mantri, will also speak on it. So if you look on the Y to Y growth, our deposits have grown from 1,17,422 to 1,41,002 crores, registering 20.1% growth. Our advances have grown by 1,15,874 crores to 1,31,927 crores, registering a growth of 13.9%. Our CASA has grown from 42,413 to 44,735, registering a growth of 5.5%. Our net interest income has grown from 2,525 to 2,830, registering a growth of 12.1%. Our gross NPA has come down from 8,136 to 6,179. So gross NPA ratio has also come down from 7% to 4.7%. Similarly, our net NPA ratio has also come down substantially to 1.3%, It has come down from 2,440 to 1,637. The operating profit has gone by 22.1% from 1655 to 2021. The return on assets are more or less the same, a little dip, and the return on equity has also a little bit dip from 14 to 13.8%. The capital adequacy ratio, the CRAR, is quite has shown a marginal decline from 19.8% to 16.1%. That is because of the risk weights which have increased on the unsecured loan from 100% to 125%. So having said so, also we have posted a profit of 426 crores during the current quarter, which is of course a dip by 42% from the YOY, from quarter 3 of financial year 24. And let me tell you briefly the reasons for that. After that, my Rajiv will be explaining more in details about that. So the reasons basically has come, as you know, the first thing is because of the accounting procedures. Earlier, we were not doing the write-off and the extra provisions on account of that during the quarter. It was always at the Q4, that is the end of the quarter in the March. So we have now decided that we should do it over the quarters instead of keeping it all for the March end. So that exercise we have started this year. So that has entailed us for an additional provision of 336 crores. The second is that there were two things which we have just gone in tune with what is the accepted practice in the banking system, is that is the ESOP accounting. So you are all aware that in private sector banks the employees are entitled for ESOP. So this ESOP has now been accounted on the fair valuation basis and right from day one since inception. So that has had an effect of 166 crores. So these are some of the things which we have decided that we should take in the quarter, which has impacted our profit. But on the good side is that, as you all know, that our CGFMU case, which was, I think, kept hanging, so that has been fully resolved. We have received the balance amount of 289 crores during the quarter, and we have already had around 249 crores, of almost 538 crores of CGFMU funds have been received, and the chapter for the time being has been closed, that which was subject to audit earlier. So going forward, our strategy is that being a universal bank, we will be more secular in our approach. You all know that we are more in the microfinance segment. A large contribution has been made by Bandhan. I would say we are a pioneer in this field, and today Bandhan's contribution in this segment has really helped many poor people to improve their economic condition. So while this sector is currently facing some challenges, you are all aware, and we are also not insulated from it. We are also having the heat of it, but we are expecting that after another one more quarter, things will show marked improvement, and our portfolio in this segment, especially on the slippages front, will be taken care of. So going forward, I can assure you that with our approach towards a more secular growth, which more stress on liability product and marching towards digital banking, we have already decided to go almost fully digital, and I would say our performance would be much better in the future, and we will be giving a reasonable, I would say, satisfaction to all the stakeholders of the bank. I now hand over for the rest of the things. So we will give you more details to Rajiv Mantri, our CFO, Chief Financial Officer, to take you through the details of the Q3 financials. Thank you.
Thank you, Partha sir, for taking us through the key highlights for the quarter. I will just like to spend some time going through the financials, a little bit more color, and again want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you at our office this time. As MD sir has said, we have presented a decent set of numbers within the current backdrop. I think some headline numbers have been discussed, but let me go through some more. Starting with the balance sheet on the advances front, overall our advances book have grown by 14% year on year, And within that, the growth in the non-EEB book, which represents roughly 58% of the total advances, that was very strong at about 30% growth year on year. This was largely contributed by three businesses. First is retail assets, which grew at 95% year on year. And within that, the secured products, including gold loans, auto loans, commercial vehicles, etc., grew very well. Second, commercial banking assets, which grew at 38% year on year. And thirdly, housing loans, which grew at 19% year on year if we adjust for the IBPC portfolio. On the deposits front, the total retail deposits, which is CASA plus the retail term deposits, that grew by 16% year on year, of which the growth in retail term deposits was 26% year on year. Shows the kind of growth that the bank has been doing on deposits and continues to do faster than the advances growth. CASA deposits stood at 44,735 crore rupees. This was increased by 6% year on year. The growth is on the softer side, but it is largely in line with the industry trend that is seen on the CASA. CASA ratio as at the end of December stands at 32% roughly. Moving to asset quality. On the asset quality front, the bank has seen incremental stress this quarter, which was slightly higher than the expectations. In quarter 3 FY25, the bank had seen gross slippages at rupees 1,621 crores. Increase in slippages was mainly in the EEB book, primarily due to the elevated risk that is there in the industry itself. And the slippages increased in the EEB to 1,196 crores in this quarter compared to rupees 752 crores in the previous quarter. Uh, 752. Sorry? Total slippage was 1,621 crores, 1,621. EEB was 1,196. That's correct. That's correct.
We'll take questions.
I think I'll just go through this
We'll
and then we'll
take
open
question
it up for
answers.
questions. Yeah. Overall, for the bank, the gross NPA ratio was 4.7% in quarter 3 FY25. The net NPA was 1.3%. The PCR was 73.5% if we exclude the write-offs, and include the write-off was over 85%. Coming to the P&L for the quarter, net interest income was at 2,830 crores, which grew by 12% year on year. The net total income for the quarter was 3,926 crore, which represented an increase of 28% year on year, showing a very healthy growth. The bank reported a net profit of rupees 426 crores in the quarter compared to 733 crores in the previous quarter. And MD sir has already talked about some of the key reasons, some of the one-offs which came through in this quarter relating to the change in accounting policy for ESOPs, and that added to about 166 crores further to the expenses. But the lower profit is also primarily on account of higher provisions, on account of stress in the microfinance portfolio that we see, and due to the impact of the technical write-off that was done during the quarter. Our net interest margin for the quarter was 6.9%. Overall, for the 9 months, if you look at the 9 months ended December 2024, the return on assets was at 1.8% and the return on equity was 13.8% on an annualized basis. Lastly, on capital adequacy, CRAR was at 16.1%, which includes the profits for the 9 months. And this increased from 15.6% in the last quarter by 50 basis points. With that, on behalf of the management team, once again, thank you for participating in the conference, and we can open up for questions.
Thank you, sir. So we'll just now open up for question and answer session. I just request you if you can have questions one by one, and before posting your question, if you can just introduce yourself for the benefit of the larger audience, it will be very helpful. Do we have any questions from anybody? If you can raise your hands, the mic will come to you, sir. Sir, we'll get the mic.
You know that micro finance sector, that was on some time, it's an asset for Bandhan Bank. But do you think that now that has become a point of pain for the bank because you know the out of slippage is 12, 1621, slippage is 1196. Last quarter it was also 752. So what is your comment? আমি প্রজ্ঞানন্দ চৌধুরী আনন্দবাজার
লাইটটা পড়ছে সেই জন্য ইয়ে করতে পারছি না ঠিক হ্যাঁ So just to answer you that microfinance has been an asset and will continue to be an asset. Every sector has shown some cyclical, I would say upsides and downturns, and currently this sector is showing the downturns, no doubt on it. The entire country, this sector is showing some delinquencies and we are not insulated from it. But given I would say the practices and the procedures that is followed in Bandhan Bank, we have got very good set of guardrails. We have already imposed on the thing to arrest the slippages. So many things are there on the quantum of loan, on the number of loans, on the delinquent borrower, so on the rating, CIBIL rating and others for that year. So we have set up various guardrails. So we are now imposing to it. Yes, the current situation, if you look at it, the sector is actually showing a diversified performance across the geographies, while still the collection efficiency in the eastern part, especially in Assam and West Bengal, is very, very good. It is more than 99%. It has somewhat got impacted in the other parts of the country, so giving an overall delinquency. So going forward, I can say that yes, being a universal bank, our strategy is now to go more secular in all sectors instead of concentrating on one sector. So what the statement you have made that Bandhan Microfinance is your asset, so it will not become our only asset. That much we can say. So number one, we are diversifying into the other sectors, into the retail loans, into the housing loan, into the wholesale banking and commercial loans. So that is our one strategy. Number two is that we, as the guardrails have been implemented, we are expecting that the sector will improve. But yes, for the coming one quarter, there will be a stress that will continue for that year. After that, there will be a substantial improvement. It is a cyclical trend. The trend will reverse, and there will be upwards in this microfinance sector.
what is the percentage of microfinance total?
So we are having 42, I think, no? 40 microfin to total is?
Yeah, microfinance to total, which is group loans plus SBL put together, is now about 42% of the overall portfolio.
Do you have a plan to decrease it to?
So percentage wise, it will come down, but it's not quantum wise. Quantum wise will continue with the good borrowers.
Mithun from Hindu Business Line. So you said that there is a technical write-off. So what was the amount? And for that, what was the provision?
1266 crores was the technical write-off, and for which we have to make a provision of 336 crores additional.
Yeah, so maybe if I can just add, the total amount of technical write-off was 1266 crores. This was 100% provided for. But as the write-off happens, we have to still make additional provision to ensure that our provisioning levels are maintained, at a portfolio level.
1266
1,266 crores. That is the technical write-off for Q3. The additional provision impact because of the write-off is 336 crores, 336.
Can we have the mic there? Sir, request if you can introduce करके सवाल.
Shah from Dainik Juga Shankar. Sir, what is your NPA in rupee term and decrease of your profit 426 crore, and what is the reason for that? Please to clarify it.
So we have just told that the reason is, one is the ESOP accounting that we have told for the day. So we have now in tune with the practices that is done by all organizations. So it has come down from intrinsic valuation to the fair valuation. So that has resulted for 166 crores additional expenditure. And we could not claim also the tax benefit of it. So let me tell you that almost 54 crores tax on it also we need to pay.
42 crores.
42 crores
Yeah.
on these expenditures. The second one is that there are certain adjustments made on our debt asset swap. So that provisions was around, additional provision was around 30 crores. So these two are one time, so around 196 crores. So these are the major things we think we have made it. As I have told you that although the net profit has come down, the operating profit has increased by 20.2% compared to the previous financial year.
And I think to answer the first part of your question, the gross NPA in absolute rupee term was 6179 crore rupees, 6179. And net NPA was 1637. This is 31st December 2024, Q3. Yeah.
I'm Atoti from Economic Times. Yeah.
So that's
I have as you mentioned, first of all, congratulations for being taking this responsibility. You mentioned about guardrails. Can you please elaborate what are the guardrails you have adopted or implemented?
So
That is
let me
number
tell
one.
you, some of the guardrails that we have done it. The first is that we are now going to introduce, it is in the UAT state, QR-based repayment, number one, so that on real-time basis, the accounts, the funds which are paid by the borrowers will be credited directly into their accounts. Number two is that we are also making three lenders cap, so Bandhan plus two. So the eligible borrower would be maximum having three loans, one from Bandhan and two from others. Number two is that we have put a total indebtedness cap of 2 lakhs, which includes the unsecured loans of the borrowers also, even from other than the microfinance institutions also for that year. Third is that we have put no lending to a delinquent borrower who is having a lending period of more than 30 days DPD. So that is another thing we have done it for that I would say as a guardrail. So apart from that, many steps are also taken to actually improve the hygiene of this portfolio.
So this is basically in line with the guardrails suggested by MFIN, right?
So we are put some harder guardrails. Like MFIN, it is 60 days DPD. We have put 30 days DPD. MFIN is 4 lenders cap still now. We have put it as 3 lenders cap. So I would say our guardrails are a little bit tougher than MFIN.
Okay, and a few more clarifications from Mr. Mantri.
Yes, sir.
One is slippages. You mentioned 1621 in the quarter. So what was it in the corresponding quarter last year?
Sure. Just give me a second. So 1,621 crores was this quarter, and corresponding period last quarter, last year was 1,394 crores.
And if you can share what is the provision you have made, total provision and provision against bad loans this quarter and corresponding last year.
So the total provision that we have in the balance sheet that exists for NPAs 4,542 crores. That is the total NPA provision. And if you're talking about this particular quarter, during the quarter the total provisions that we have done was 1,376 crores, 1,376.
So our PCR, including the write-off, is today 85%.
85.4%. Yeah.
So 1,376. This is Q3 this time, right?
Yes.
What was
Q3
it?
FY25.
What was it in FY23?
684.
680.
684 rupees crores. Yeah.
And so total provision also increased in line with that, right?
Yeah. So the increase in the provision of because of two things. One is we have seen the increase in slippages, from 1115 crores to 1621. And second is because we did a technical write-off, there is a provision relating to that.
So that impacted your net profitability. I mean, it has come down because
Exactly,
of
yes.
That is
operating profit is higher.
Around 336 crores have been impacted, yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, December 23, same quarter, December 23 quarter.
Sir, the shareholders of Bandhan Bank will be very happy to get your optimistic statement regarding the next phase of growth, Bandhan 2.0, what you have mentioned. Here I am, sir.
Sir, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, this is Bapan Dan from voiceofkolkata.com. So, sir, you have mentioned the next phase of growth, which has been termed as Bandhan 2.0. That's very optimistic for the shareholders. But the main concern of growth, which has been termed as the geographical concentration, what you mentioned just in West Bengal and Assam. So, under your leadership, do you have any plan to tap other market geographically? I am talking about South or North India.
Yes.
So, do you have any expansion plan to
Yes,
cover the whole?
Yes, yes. We have a branch expansion plan. So maybe in the next year, we will be opening around close to 200 branches. And this will be focused mainly on South. So the concentration, geographical concentration would be diluted to a large extent. So currently we are basically East-West bank. So we will be going to the other states of the country also.
Thank you, sir.
Do we have any more questions? I think since there are no more questions, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank everybody once again for joining us in this office and invite you for a high tea and photographs, whoever is. Thank you very much once again. Thank you, sirs.
Thank you.